Shouldn't it be a lot harder for a bridge running through a port waterway to completely be destroyed by a ship? It's recommended for the supports for bridges to be protected in some way in case of impact from a ship, but it's not always done. Another factor for older bridges is that they were designed with smaller ships in mind. What was adequate to protect against the cargo ships of the day is not sufficient for larger cargo ships of today. Anyone can build a bridge that stands, but it takes an engineer to build a bridge that barely stands. A lot of thought is put into conserving materials and labor when building structures, since things like bridges cost a lot of money to put together. They are designed to be strong in the direction they expect to be loaded against gravity, and they are designed to survive enough cross-directional stress to survive high winds. A cargo ship is a hell of a lot more than a high wind. The cargo ship completely took out a support pier. It is crumbled sitting on the ship forward bow deck. The shear forces from the impact on that pier, and the reactive forces upon the steel structure left and right of the impact. Again, a vital piece of the bridge was suddenly and violently removed. According to Wikipedia, the ship had a gross tonnage of almost 100,000 tons. That's 2 million pounds of steel and cargo hitting some reinforced concrete at 20 miles an hour-ish. Insane amount of energy that you just can't really design for without making the bridge prohibitively expensive. That's not a tap. I get cargo ships are massive. Well, apparently you underestimate just how massive since you made this post. They are fucking huge. There's a lot of momentum behind something that large. Most bridges rely on not being hit by things to survive being in active waterways like that. Up until yesterday, engineers didn't include runaway massive cargo ships that lost power in their equations. You're massively underestimating the mass of a cargo ship. Those things destroy whatever is in their path. Not an expert, no, because Sir Isaac Newton is a deadly son of a bitch. Force being the ability to change the velocity of something unless acted upon by another force is just mass time acceleration. A multi-thousand-ton vessel traveling at a slow speed has an unbelievable amount of force due to all that mass. Added to the fact that upon impact, all that force is transferred laterally to the support structure of the bridge at a concentrated point. Imagine standing and having someone try to tip you over. If they just shove you like normal and you're braced, depending on the size of the person you might tip, or you might be fine. Now, instead, imagine that it's a child, but they swing a hammer on your shin. Around the time the bridge was designed, intermodal shipping containers became standardized and took over shipping. This led to a dramatic increase in the size of cargo ships, since the time delay for loading and unloading bigger ships became trivial. So the dolly is probably a lot bigger than the defenses of that bridge were designed for, and the bow may be reaching farther forward than a small 1970s ship. Keep in mind that the support pillars are made to be small to make them harder to accidentally hit in the first place. If the structure was heavier above water, it would put even more weight on the structure below water. I think the bigger question is the perfect storm that led to this catastrophe. Boat is heading on a course right toward a bridge. Why was it heading directly toward the bridge? At what point does it need to turn when all systems are working? It lost power multiple times, so the first time it lost power and came back on. Why didn't they attempt to stop the boat completely or course correct so it doesn't make impact with the bridge? In addition, 15 minutes is a long time. Who did they contact during that time, as they had to know if nothing changed in 15 minutes they were going to hit the bridge? What kind of failsafes do they have if they lose power? They lost power, but was there no generators that could have kicked in? Reminds me of the freighter then ran into the Sunshine Skyway n.wikipedia.org wiki Sunshine Skyway Bridge 1980 collapse bridge in Tampa, Florida back in 1980. 35 people dead, and it seemed a less massive ship than this one, which appeared to be laden with shipping containers. I think I heard the bridge opened around 77, so it was probably designed and engineered a few years before that. I'm pretty sure the design wouldn't pass codes today, but it did when it was designed and built. Building a bridge that could take the amount of energy that a cargo ship has thousands and thousands of tons in motion would cost an astronomical amount. So we have all of our harbor controls and lanes instead to keep ships apart and away from obstacles. It's visible in the video that the ship knocked down the whole pillar. You can't stand a bridge on pure air. You don't design the bridge for a massive, 1,000-ton cargo ship hitting it. That thing tapping it is easy to say when you aren't fully aware of speed or its mass. That cargo ship just tapped it in your high school physics class. The irony here is off the charts, because clearly you failed your high school physics class. The ship was moving slowly, yes, but it also has enormous mass. Something that heavy doesn't need to be moving very quickly to do tremendous amounts of damage. Go and Google momentum and kinetic energy. Yeah, that would make it 100 times more expensive. You can also make cars that don't deform in a crash. It's much cheaper to just not crash. Physics is a bitch. Ship was several thousand tons, bridge not so much.